Email todaycb@rte.ie.
Well, as I mentioned before the break, a woman in her 30s and two young girls aged under 10 were pronounced dead at a crash in County Mayo yesterday. The car collided with a truck on the N17, and that tragedy brings to 52 the number of people killed on our roads so far this year. That's 10 more people than in the same period last year. For more on this, I'm joined first on the line by Richard Finn, who's a local independent councillor for Mayo. And Richard, news of that awful tragedy that I've just described on the roads, that came after you were already reeling there, I'm sure, from the news that a couple in Swinford had died in a house fire in the early hours of yesterday. I'm sure everyone you've been talking to is just in shock.
Well, Claire, the whole community in Mayo is in shock and sadness at the moment. And as you say, our deepest sympathy goes out to the families and friends of all those who lost their lives in Claremorris and Swinford on this tragic day for the local community and the people of Mayo. It was a dark and sad day for us all, and in particular in my local area here in Claremorris, where the loss of a young mother and her two girls at Castlegar in Claremorris came as a great shock to everyone. And our thoughts and prayers are with the families at this sad time. And again, I say it's, to compliment the emergency service and everything who have put in a long session in relation to the aftermath of this tragic event. And our thanks goes out to the Garda, the fire services, the ambulance services and the medics and everything at this sad time.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure everyone listening and everyone here will echo all of what you've just said. The crash happened at around 2:00 yesterday afternoon, wasn't it?
Yes, I'll tell you, Claire, I was on the road myself at the time, and it was very inclement weather, and as we have been used to here for the last few weeks, and the out of respect for the families and everything, they have to be contacted, and it's a very delicate situation, and until something official comes out and until names are released and whatever, we are sort of tied to a certain amount.
Of course, but look, let's talk about the road. As you said yourself, you were on the road yesterday and you're very familiar with it. What can you tell us about that particular road?
The road itself, it's the main N17 routeway, which is famous in song and everything else going back. So the thing about it is like this. When taking into account accidents and everything, there have been accidents on this road in previous locations along the road. There was another major accident where 3 people lost their lives. But essentially, there has been, it's the Claremorris Knock bypass essentially, and it's the main N17 between Galway and Sligo. And in the last 2 or 3 years there, we have spent, or the TII has spent €10 million in one accident black spot there in flyover at Leastuff. And